Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something totally mind-bending, a hypothesis proposed by Gul Ahmad that is going to completely reimagine how we interact with our own past. Seriously, if you've ever found yourself wishing you could go back to a specific moment in your life, not just to remember it, but to truly, literally be there again, then you are going to find this absolutely fascinating. We're about to unpack a concept that bridges the gap between memory, consciousness, and the quantum field.
Section 1. The ultimate what if and rethinking time travel. Let's just jump right in and set up a thought experiment that's going to challenge your fundamental perception of reality. We need to completely rethink what time travel actually means.
So, imagine for a second that you aren't just remembering a flashback. It's not some hazy image in your mind's eye. What if you were actually stepping inside that exact moment again? Living it, watching it, and feeling it as if you just logged in. Think about that phrase for a second, logged in. Just like you log in your computer and suddenly you have access to this entire digital environment, this hypothesis asks what would happen if your present awareness could literally log directly into a specific memory.
This is a massive paradigm shift. Forget the classic sci-fi trope of physical time travel, hopping into a metallic machine to go back and alter history. Throw that out the window. What we're actually exploring here is consciousness travel. We aren't talking about sending your physical body anywhere. We're talking about sending your present consciousness and awareness back to re-experience a moment. It's an entirely internal journey of awareness, feeling, and the mind.
Moving on to Section 2, the quantum memory loop and Gul Ahmad's hypothesis. Let's take a look at the actual framework that makes this wild conceptual journey possible.
The crucial thing here is how we actually define memory. The quantum memory loop hypothesis argues that your memory is not just stored data. We so often think of our brains as these biological hard drives, right? Just storing old photographs and text files that sit there statically until we pull them up. But Gul Ahmad's theory says, no, memory is a living gate. It's an active, energetic doorway that's just waiting to be opened, allowing your consciousness to literally re-enter those past moments.
Section 3. Memories as checkpoints and the quantum imprint. Now, you're probably wondering, how exactly does the brain turn a fleeting moment from years ago into a living doorway that you can just step back through today?
To really wrap your head around this, you have to start treating your memories like checkpoints. If you've ever played a video game, you know exactly what a checkpoint is. It's a specific, saved state in time and space that you can just return to whenever you need. Well, in the context of our minds, certain memories act exactly like this. They aren't just passing seconds, they're anchored states of being. So let's break down exactly what makes this possible, because this is the real science behind the hypothesis. As we established, every memory acts as a sort of checkpoint, but not all checkpoints are created equal. The theory suggests that highly emotional memories, whether we're talking moments of intense pain or profound joy, they are incredibly powerful. They hold what's called a quantum imprint. Why? Because in those exact moments of deep emotion, your brain and your emotions were vibrating in a highly elevated high-energy state. It's kind of like a tuning fork. And the hypothesis suggests these high-energy memory states still exist out there in the quantum field. Because they left an imprint, if you can figure out how to tune your present consciousness into that specific frequency, you can literally re-enter the checkpoint. Section 4. Math of consciousness and the formula for awareness. Okay, let's get into the mechanics and see how this builds into an actual mathematical representation of human emotion.
This brings us to a simple but incredibly profound equation. C of t equals psi of q and m. Now I know, bringing math into consciousness sounds wild, but it essentially takes the abstract philosophical idea of memory and feeling and puts it into a structured formula to explain how we exist at any given point in time.
Let's break those variables down so it makes sense. It basically shows that your consciousness at any given time, that's the C of t, is just a function of two distinct things: the memory strength, which is the m, and its emotional charge, the q. So how vivid is the memory and how much emotional gravity does it pull? When you combine the strength of that recall with the energetic charge of the emotion, you define the exact state of consciousness needed to unlock that specific doorway in the quantum field.
Section 5. Time is a loop. A paradigm shift. If our consciousness is fundamentally tied to the emotional gravity of our memories like this, it completely shatters our traditional understanding of time itself.
Think about it. For our whole lives, we're taught that time is a straight road. It moves in one direction, from the past, through the present, straight into the future. Once you pass a mile marker, that's it. It's gone forever in the rearview mirror. But the quantum memory loop suggests something entirely different. It proposes that time is a loop of moments. It's not a line at all. It's a continuum filled with those high-energy checkpoints we talked about. It's a loop filled with living doorways you can step back into at will, provided you have the right emotional and conscious tuning.
Now, I know the immediate question everyone asks when talking about going back into the past. You're probably thinking, can I change things? Well, the ultimate goal of stepping through these quantum doorways isn't to change the world. The rule is simply re-feel, don't change. You aren't going back to stop yourself from making a mistake or to alter the course of history. You're logging back in to re-feel and re-experience your life with total present awareness. It is all about a profound connection with your own existence, feeling the joy, processing the pain, just being fully conscious of the moment as it happens all over again.
I want to leave you with this beautifully poetic realization directly from the source text. If time is not a line but a circle, then memory is the knot. Untie it, and we can go back. Just think about how powerful that is. Your memories are literally the knots holding the circle of time together. If you learn to untie them through conscious awareness and emotional tuning, well, the past is never really gone. Which leaves us with a pretty massive question. If time is truly just a circle, what memory knot in your own life are you most ready to untie? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.